Have you ever had the need in your carpentry or woodworking for a very accurate square? I've been taking a look at this TSO MTR 18 triangle. Yeah, they call it a triangle, I call it a square. I'm gonna test my workbench and these holes that are cut with the Parf Guide Mark II. So really what I'm gonna do is see how accurate the Parf Guide is. Now this is a CNC machined square to within with a tolerance of 1/1000th over its 18 inches. No wobble at all. Let's do another little check here. So because the holes are drilled exactly 96 millimeters in both directions, that means you can pick any row of holes going across and it should be a perfect 45. So to do that, I've got to pull this down. I'll drop one in right there, push it up, and visually it looks absolutely perfect. Let's drop this one in here. Again, no shifting at all. The square itself is 18 inches by 18 inches, and it has standard dimensions on one side, as well as the angles. And on the other side, it's in metric, so it's millimeters, so that's, I don't know, 448 or something. The markings aren't just painted on, they're etched in. So I'm assuming that's a laser etching. Another feature that I think I will also get a lot of use of is making angled cuts using the Smart Workbench and my Festool track and track saw. So I'll show you how that works. So you have this cursor bar that mounts on the square. Once that's assembled, then all I need to do is drop in these two dogs. And now it's locked in, so I can, right there, I can set it on 45 and know that I'll get a 45 cut. To use it, then I would just put my material that I want to cut up against the foot of the square, and then I can just set it on the angle I want. In this case, it's 60. Now they do include a pin to drop in to degree points. So they have a drop in for 90, 75, 67.5, 60, 45, 30, 22.5, 15, and 0. So obviously I can just dial it in anywhere along the way, or if I get to one of those primary points, I can drop in that pin and lock it all in. Now I have it set on 60 degrees, so what I'm going to get is a 60-degree cut. So this angle here will be 60 degrees. So I got a perfect 120-degree angle. And now that I'm set up, if I want to do a different angle, say a 75-degree angle, again, I could do an off angle, I could do a 74, 72 and just set it with the cursor, but I'll go to one of the primaries here at 75, and now I could make my cut here at 75. Get a board almost as wide as the spacing between the two bench dogs. And if I needed it even wider, I could go to the Paulk Smart Big Bench, which is wider. Now I did this off of the end of the bench again because I did not want to cut into my bench. And this is the bench dogs that the square comes with, so I wanted to show you that operation. But I actually have an alternate configuration that I've come up with to work the way I like to work, which is on top of my workbench, on top of sacrificial strips, so that I can have my material solidly on the bench, both sides of it, at least portions of both sides, and make my cut and still not cut in my bench. But it requires me to use some longer bench dogs than the ones included. To set up this square on top of the sacrificial strips, I'm going to bridge one of the strips, so something about like that. So I'll pull this one in. For this operation, I'm going to use these UJK Parf Super Dogs. I really like these because they'll tighten down from the top, and with these O-rings, they'll lock it into the bench dog hole. Now, because I'm going to drop the square on top of them, because they have a little flange, I'll install these first so I know the 2 holes. I'll drop them in. Now the square is locked in so I can set it on any dimension. I know it's going to be precise because the square is precise, and we've already tested the bench dog holes and know they're precise as well. So if I wanted to get a 60-degree cut, and there's my 60-degree, the cut I've already made. To prove it out, maybe I'll change the angle. We'll do another cut. So let's go to 67.5. I really like this. By adding the MTR 18 to the Paulk Smart Bench, I'm going to be able to take on some interesting projects where I can do some highly accurate big angles, on wide material, much the way I could do with narrower stock on the miter saw. I'll make sure there's an affiliate link to this with TSO in our store at thesmartwoodshop.com, and I'll also put that in the description of this video down below. And then you can go take a look at it and see if it's a tool that might be handy in your wood shop. If you enjoy these tool review videos, if you've learned anything, if you'd like to see me do more, then be sure to give me a thumbs up. It'll only take you seconds, right down there, thumbs up. Also, if you want to join the Smart Woodshop family, you can click on the subscribe button, and when you're there, go ahead and ring that bell so you'll know when I put up a new video. Thanks for dropping into the Smart Woodshop. You stay safe and have a great day. I thought of one more use for the accuracy of the MTR 18, and that is to check how square my Smart Crosscut is. Now, I'm not worried about the bench dogs and it lining up with the bench, because that was all done with the Parf Guide Mark II. So I already know that these holes to those holes, it's going to be perfect. But remember, on the Smart Crosscut, the blocks that the material rides against are riding in a T-track that I made, and the blocks themselves were made so I could have introduced error. Now, I've done testing and I made sure that it was all working before, so I'm really confident. But I know that this track is, a perfect 90 degrees from the crosscut itself, because that's all lined up with the bench dog holes. But let's see how these blocks do. So I know I want to be tight to that, and I'll bring it in, touch the block. Perfect, perfect, no wiggle. That'll be a nice test, just to double check if I'm starting a big project and I set up the crosscut and I'm ready to go, and I know when I'm all done, I'm going to have cut 20, 30 cabinets or the parts for those. It'll be nice to know when I start, I'll be able to pull this out and do that check, give it the thumbs up.